What's going on, guys? Twig and Timber here with a cool video. Today I went fishing with a buddy of mine and he and I went neck and neck, fly versus spin, to try to see who could catch the most bass using topwater. He was throwing a popper frog and I was throwing, well, just watch the video and you'll see why rodents can be your best friend when it comes to bass.
Look at that, Colton. Look at that.
Staring at the walls between 9 and 5 to 10, waiting for some beats to come and settle in. What tomorrow brings is less than just this song. Will you see
There we go. There we go. That's
before I'm long gone? Was it just a dream that wouldn't let me in? Morning contemplated where I've gone and what I've done. Thought I knew it all, where to walk and when to run. Once upon a falling star, I held my head up high. Don't remember how or when I let it by. Close my eyes and see that day once more. Got a feeling inside I can't ignore. My falling star, my falling star.
So as you can see, we started to go head to head pretty evenly. He caught a few, I caught a few. Well, what I started to notice is that when he started to use those big heavy frogs in delicate areas, that's where I sort of started to excel. He was creating more commotion and more motion in the open water, whereas in the more finesse and delicate areas, I found that my mouse did the trick.
Once upon a falling star, I held my head up high. Couldn't remember how or when I let it by. Close my eyes and see that day once more. Got a feeling inside I can't ignore.
As you notice, it was actually fairly complicated to land the fish in such a small boat with a 9-foot rod. When you're fishing from a boat for bass, you can actually get away with using a smaller, shorter rod. I was using a 5-weight that day because that's all I had. I expected to fish for different fish. So it was actually fairly difficult to throw these big streamers or these big bass bugs in order to try and, if you have a longer rod, trying to land the fish at the boat can actually do damage to your rod. So that's why you see me try and bring the rod all the way back, keep it as level as possible, allowing that fish to come closer to the boat without putting the bend towards the tip of the rod. My buddy picked the fish up and he was able to let me grab onto the fish, glory shot for the camera, and toss it back in. When we're fishing topwater on a fly rod, what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep our rod tip low, and we're trying to usually vary our stripping. It's called stripping, haha. Vary the stripping, whether it's short strokes, whether it's long, whether you pause it, that's all up to you. However, when we're using frogs, I like to use longer strips. When we're using mice, I like to use shorter chugging strips to imitate a swimming mouse. And that's what's really kind of been blowing up today, is the mouse. So we're going to move to a different part of the water. It's a little more productive, and see what we can do. That should be good to go. Thank you. One key and important thing to remember when you're fly fishing for bass, for trout, or whatever, whenever you're using a streamer or you're using some form of topwater popper or terrestrial, you want to keep your rod tip low when you do your stripping. Now, when you strip in, remember that you're still trying to match the hatch. So if you're trying to replicate a frog, well, you probably want to use more erratic motions because you might actually end up getting some nice walking motion out of a sneaky Pete or some form of popper. When you're using a mouse like I did, one of the best important things I like to show people whenever I'm using a mouse, my strips are actually fairly regimented and almost like in a chugging, swimming motion. I like to keep a nice constant wake.
Silence comes to the night. The smoke will rise with the morning light. You can feel it, it's in the air. You can see it, oh, everywhere. World, it changes all around you. Good or bad, there's no controlling. There's no need to fear tomorrow. Live today without sorrow. Take a chance, make a stand. Waters rise, wash away. You're trapped inside where they lay. Laughter comes, hearts will skip.
Oh, that's a
Left alone and lost the grip. You can feel it, it's in the air. You can see it, oh, everywhere. World, it changes all around you.
choke that dog.
Good or bad, there's no controlling.
Alright guys, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos on the channel or on this playlist. Until next time guys, catch you guys on the flip side and tight lines.